guys, thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I am so happy to have you guys back. If you're new to this channel, thank you for tuning in, and if you've already been a part of this channel, welcome back. I truly appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I just wanted to kind of touch base on you guys on my experiences on using real flowers and silk flowers, because I know a lot of you who are watching this video today would like to know the difference in working with the two. So I'm just here. I just wanted to share my thoughts and my opinion on using fresh flowers and silk flowers, the advantages and the disadvantages in using the two. I've been asked that question a lot myself. Which should they go with, silk, real flowers? Which is more affordable? Which is more budget friendly? Which is much better to take care of? Which is more, maintenance worthy? So hopefully you can find this video to help you out in many ways and help you determine which do you prefer the most, or if you like the both. So stay tuned throughout this whole video. I will also share with you which I like to work with the most, or which I find to be more affordable, more expensive. So stay tuned. Also, you guys, I want you guys to know that I am having a giveaway this month. If you are not a contestant for this giveaway, you guys, I highly recommend that you are a contestant, because I am giving a free Cricut giveaway, and I am super excited and I cannot wait to announce the winner. And if you would like to be a participant in this giveaway, please check the description box below and become a contestant, because you have a chance of winning a free Cricut, you guys. I am super excited and I cannot wait to announce the winner this month. So check in the description box below. Let's get into the video. Now, to start off with, fresh flowers. I love fresh flowers. I love the look of fresh flowers. I think they look absolutely amazing with flower arrangements. Certain fresh flowers looks absolutely stunning, like orchids, like calla lilies, like peonies. I found those flowers to look absolutely amazing when they're fresh, and even silk flowers can't take that away from them, because when you see those flowers in any kind of arrangement, it just looks absolutely breathtaking. It really sets the ambiance. It really makes your wedding look luxurious. It really makes it look classy, elegant. That's just my takeaway when I see real flowers. Another thing too with fresh flowers is that it makes your wedding look luxurious. It makes your wedding look expensive. It makes your wedding look classy, It really sets the ambiance, the fact that, you have all these beautiful fresh flower arrangements for your event. So it looks absolutely stunning. Before you get into using either fresh flowers or silk flowers, I highly recommend you educate yourself on the two. Do your research. As a business owner or someone who's running an event planning business, I highly suggest that you educate yourself, especially if you want a long-standing business. Educate yourself on how to care for those flowers, on which one would be more cost-friendly for your clients. I say, keep an open mind on the two, and don't shy away from using either one of them. Teach yourself on how to use both fresh flowers and fake flowers, so that you can bring in any types of clients. So it doesn't matter, like if you have a client that wants to use all fake flowers and you won't shy away from that, or if you have a client that wants to use all fresh flowers, you won't shy away from that, because you've been able to teach yourself on how to work with the two. Don't shy away from using either one because of the lack of knowledge. So I would definitely say educate yourself. There's so many videos that you can watch that can help you educate yourself. You can also take courses that help educate you on the two. So keep an open mind and learn to put your skills through the test, because I think that's big when being a business owner. One way you can be able to get affordable fresh flowers, cheap fresh flowers, is by going through a really good wholesaler. So shop around for a really good wholesaler where you can purchase your fresh flowers in bulk for a very affordable price. Okay, so you want to be able to build a friendship with that wholesaler, because some wholesalers will give you 50 cents to 75 cents per hydrangea head. That's not bad at all when you think about it. And I'm talking about really big hydrangea heads, So that's not bad at all when dealing with fresh flowers. Of course, there are different fresh flowers that cost different in price, and some fresh flowers may not be in season, where if it's not in season, then it might be more money because they have to go out somewhere in South America to purchase those fresh flowers. So it might cost you a little bit more. But if the flower is in season, you will be able to get it for a very, very affordable price compared to going with real touch silk flowers. You will need a taxpayer sale ID or a certificate in order to create an account with them. So these are just some of the little, tips I can give you on that when dealing with a wholesaler. So just shop around for a really good wholesaler where you can get great quality fresh flowers for a very affordable price. Sometimes when dealing with fresh flowers, you may have guests or clients that are allergic to fresh flowers or have an allergic reaction to fresh flowers. So that's one thing you want to keep in mind. Even though those chances are very slim, but these are some of the disadvantages when working with real flowers, okay? And some fresh flowers, although they may look good together when you're doing the arrangement, but they also smell bad together as well. So that's another thing you want to keep in mind when dealing with fresh flowers. You have to know how to maintain your fresh flowers. You have to know how you can keep it from not dying. So that being said, the upkeep of it, what kind of oasis you should use, or how to keep your flowers from not dying a few days before your event. What type of room temperature should you set your fridge? Because some flowers, they require different type of temperatures. They don't require the same temperatures. And you have to know the different type of temperatures. You have to know the proper food to use, to keep your flowers from not dying. You have to learn the proper way to clean your flowers, the proper way to not touch your flowers, the proper way to soak your oasis. These are all things you need to learn when it comes to using fresh flowers. So you definitely have to educate yourself when it comes to using fresh flowers, because all this plays a part. Another thing too that sometimes you may not think is fresh flowers, when it comes to storing, can run up your electricity bill. Yes, that is an honest truth. It can really run up your electricity bill. Believe it or not, based on my experience, is that fresh flowers can be much more cheaper than fake flowers. Yes, that is the absolute truth, you guys. Based on my experience, I find that to be absolutely true. Only because if you are able to find a really good wholesaler where you can get your flowers in bulk for a much cheaper price, it can be way much more cheaper than using fake flowers. Not that to say that silk flowers, although I'm going to get into silk flowers, not that to say that silk flowers are not affordable, but sometimes I tend to find fresh flowers way much more cheaper depending on the flower that you're using as well, because certain fresh flowers are not in season. Okay, certain fresh flowers are not in season. If it's not in season, it could tend to be a little bit more higher in price than if it was in season. Okay, so that's another thing you need to keep in mind and that you need to educate yourself on the cost. But it can be more cheaper than silk flowers, and that's the honest truth based on my experience. Yes, I know if you're dealing with a lot of fresh flowers, the upkeep of it can sometimes be a lot. It's just true. But if you plan accordingly, meaning that days before your event, if you plan accordingly, you will find working with fresh flowers is not hard at all, you guys. These are, for me, some of the advantages and disadvantages in using, fresh flowers. If I've left anything out and then you have your opinion based on that too, on your experiences with using fresh flowers, so comment below, let me know your thoughts below on your experiences as well with using fresh flowers. By any means, I'm still learning, I'm still educating myself on how to properly care for fresh flowers and how to properly use it. I'm still learning day to day, and now I'm gonna get into with using silk flowers. As you all may know, or you who are watching or who has watched some of my videos, you know that I mostly work with silk flowers. And of course, the reason being is because, as a DIYer, we like to recycle our items. Meaning that we recycle our items so that we can always reuse them for the next video or for the next DIY that we have. I found that sometime when using silk flowers, you can always reuse them. And that's a reason why a lot of time you who are an event planner, love to use silk flowers, because you'll find it much easier to work with. Yes, silk flowers, I believe, can be much more easier to work with than fresh flowers, because you don't have to worry about the maintenance of keeping it, from not dying. Another good thing about, silk flowers is, yes, I do find silk flowers to be very attractive too, just like how I find fresh flowers to be attractive. Silk flowers look absolutely beautiful, and then the good thing, you don't have to wait for a particular, flower to be in season for you to use it. Silk flowers, you can find any type of silk flowers that you like, whether it was orchids, whether it was lilas, whether it was peonies. You can find them any season for you to use for your event. You don't have to work wait for a specific season in order for you to use that particular flower. But when you have an event, or when you are planning an event, if your event is in 6 months, you can start doing your silk flowers 3 months before your event, depending on how much you're doing. 3 months before your event, and sit them somewhere, and it'll be absolutely just fine, and nothing won't happen to it, and you won't have to worry about it dying. So you can definitely plan in advance when using silk flowers, which is another thing that I like. And also, you don't have to worry about storage. You don't have to worry about, oh, okay, should I put it in a separate freezer for so it not to die? You don't have to worry of the upkeeps of it, or protecting it to make sure that it doesn't die out the day before your event. You don't ever have to worry about that when it comes to silk flowers. So that's one of the things I can honestly say I enjoy about silk flowers. You can always reuse them over and over and over again with no problem. Some event designers or planners just don't want to have to deal with using fresh flowers, but they feel like silk flowers is much more better for them to work with simply because of time. Some designers would rather outsource someone who's a florist to work with fresh flowers instead of them doing it, because they have so much other things they're doing with their business other than working with fresh flowers. If that's taking away the time in their hand, they'd rather outsource somebody to do their fresh flowers instead of them doing it themselves. But that's another thing too to keep in mind, is that silk flowers, you can definitely plan in advance, and you can always reuse your silk flowers. Because fresh flowers, you have to have the proper place or the proper setting to store your fresh flowers. As with silk, you don't have to worry about that, especially if you're dealing with a large amount of order of fresh flowers. You don't have to worry about where you are keeping them in storage. With silk, you don't really have to worry about where you store them. You can store them anywhere and you'll be fine. Now the question is, can you use fake flowers for your wedding? Of course you can use fake flowers for your wedding. You can definitely use fake flowers for your wedding. I see absolutely nothing wrong using fake flowers for your event, especially if you know that you are allergic to fresh flowers, or you may have guests that might be allergic to fresh flowers. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And plus, you don't have to deal with the smell, because fake flowers has absolutely no smell to them. Now, onto some of the disadvantages I would say with using silk flowers is that sometimes silk flowers, when you do a flower arrangement, whether you did a big flower arrangement, whether you did a small flower arrangement, once you cut the stems, you can only do that same exact flower arrangement every time once you cut the stems. So that's one of the things I've realized that I've dealt with personally myself. When I use a silk flower and I cut the stem too low, so I have to keep redoing the flower arrangement that same size head. Like let's say if you may have a client that wants a bigger size flower head, I would have to go out and buy more silk flowers so I can be able to use the longer stem. I've learned over the past, of course, there are ways you can go about that into making your stems longer so you can do different flower arrangements. But the thing is that once you cut the stems, there's no going back. The stem is cut. You can only do the same size flower arrangement over and over and over again because of the way you cut your stems. So that's one thing too you need to keep in mind. You can find affordable silk flowers, however, they can be much more expensive, especially the good silk artificial, silk flowers, the one that, that feels real to touch. Those flowers can cost a lot of money. So now the big question is, which one do I like, or which one do I prefer, or which one would I use or work with? I enjoy working with both of them. I don't limit myself to what I can learn and to what I can know. So the more you know, the better it is for business. So why limit yourself? Don't shy away from using fresh flowers. Don't shy away from using silk flowers. Keep an open mind and learn to work with your client's budget, no matter what kind of flowers they would like to use. So at the end of the day, it really just depends on your preference. It really depends on the client's preference, their budget, and what they feel like is best. You can also get silk flowers in bulk for a very cheap price in bulk. So I don't know if you've seen, there was a video that I had put out on also where you can get silk flowers. So check that video out, because I go through so many vendors on where you can get silk flowers for a very affordable price. And I'm talking about great quality silk flowers if that's the route you want to choose. I say to conclude, I say don't limit yourself on the opportunity, on learning, on educating yourself on how to work with both, because you do not want to limit yourself. You do not want to limit your potential of knowing how to work with both, because at the end of the day, it really just depends on your client. It depends on your client's budget, what they can afford and what they cannot afford. So by you knowing on how to work with the both of them, that can really help you guide your client on which way you can sway them to go, whether they should go with the real flowers or whether they should go with the fake flowers. You can have a client that wants to use all fresh flowers because they have a huge budget and they just want all fresh flowers. So because of the fact that you don't know anything about fresh flowers, or you can educate yourself about knowing on how to use fresh flowers, you're going to turn away that client because you have no experience in that, or you're going to outsource, you know, a vendor or a florist to do that for you. So you want to be able to educate yourself on how to do that so that you're able to welcome all types of clients and keep an open mind on learning new skills and learning new ways on how you can use the two. Another thing too, I realized too, you can learn to use the two together too. That's one thing you can do as well. So you can have an event where you have both fresh flowers and fake flowers. Sometimes that can be good for cost too. So it's really just depending on the client. Even though I know sometimes as a vendor, some vendors want to just be able to deal with all the clients that has a really big budget, but you want to be able to start somewhere too. You want to be able to, you know, keep an open mind and being able to welcome all types of clients, whether they had a big budget, whether they had a small budget. You want to be able to keep an open mind to your clients, because some clients, they have no idea which way they want to go. They have no idea what flowers they want, what kind of flowers they want to use for their big day or for their event. You know, so they're going to ask you, what do you feel like is much better to use, or what do you feel like is more affordable to use? So it's really up to you to be able to teach them, to guide them on which way to go based on their budget and based on what they like. So just don't limit yourself to either one of them. Teach yourself on how to maintain both of them. You know, they each have their pros, their cons, and you know, at the end of the day, you have to start from somewhere. Even if you want to be able to work with clients that have a big budget only, but you still want to be able to teach yourself on how to work with clients that may not have a big budget or may have a lower budget. Keep an open mind on every client that you have, and keep an open mind with the type of flowers they would like to use. So if you learn both, then you can able to work with any type of clients that come to you. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate you guys. Hopefully you were able to take away a lot from this video. I know it may seem like I was a little bit all over the place. I would love to hear your thoughts in working with either fresh or silk flowers, and what are your experience with it, and you know, how you maintain it, or you know, just any advice that you can give an either or to anybody who's watching. I truly do appreciate you guys for watching. You guys are absolutely amazing. You guys inspire me every day. Thank you so much for always tuning in, for always watching, for always inspiring me. I truly appreciate you guys. So stay tuned for my next video. Bye guys.